Tonight we'll be sharing 3 bone-chilling tales from real-life pizza delivery drivers who found themselves trapped in unfathomable danger while simply trying to do their jobs. From a suburban trap house staffed by a scheming temptress to an abandoned farmhouse haunted by a phantom piano player, to a cartel-controlled crack den manned by armed assailants. These stories will have you thanking the delivery gods for letting these poor souls live to tell the tale. So grab a slice and settle in, if you dare. The Trap House. As the 17-year-old delivery boy pulled up to the modest single-story home, nothing seemed out of the ordinary at first. It was a routine pizza run down a sleepy suburban side street. But when a middle-aged woman greeted him at the door with unusual enthusiasm, an ominous tension filled the air. Against his better judgment, the teen stepped into the living room, longing for adventure. The woman, reeking of boxed wine, batted her eyelashes and slurred flirtatious small talk, seeming to relish having a handsome young visitor to dote on. From the kitchen, her raspy-voiced friend hollered a boozy greeting, emerging with 2 overflowing glasses of Chardonnay. As the women pressed him to indulge in liquor, the situation felt thrilling yet unsettling for his inexperienced self. Exchanging gossip about her no-good ex, the first woman traced her crimson fingernail up the delivery boy's arm, as she suggested they continue the fun downstairs in the basement. Shooting each other a devious glance, the pair beckoned him to descend first into the darkness below. Though every instinct pleaded with him to run, morbid curiosity pushed his feet forward. Peering anxiously into the pitch-black abyss, only the creaking steps were visible by the thin stream of light piercing the doorway above. Reaching the cement floor, he held his breath, listening intently for clues as to what evil might lurk in the shadows. The women's giggles quieted, and he sensed their presence lingering by the top of the staircase. Turning to look upwards, instead of their faces, he saw only 2 pairs of legs blocking the exit. A chill went down his spine as the silence grew deafening. Suddenly, a large figure shifted in the back corner, knocking over glass bottles with a gruff whisper. "Let's make this easy, kid," a male voice rasped. The teen's heart pounded out of his chest, blood pulsing through his ears, making it hard to think. His next moves might determine life or death. In sheer panic, he sprinted up the creaky wooden stairs, ducking past the women's grappling arms and making a beeline for the front door. Bursting outside into the refreshing night air brought an instant sensation of relief. Peeling out down the sleepy suburban street, he panted heavily, struggling to process the terror. Glancing back, the man and woman stood solemnly on the front steps, glaring, robbed of their prey. Safely back at the shop, authorities interviewed the shaking teen, stunned by his chilling account. Though they never caught the would-be perpetrators or uncovered what sinister secrets hid in that basement's abyss, the boy felt blessed to escape becoming another missing persons case or gruesome obituary. He never dared deliver another pizza pie again. But the cautionary tale became legend past amongst generations of local teenagers, warning all to beware the hidden terrors masked by the mundane facades of suburbia's seemingly sleepy streets. For that nearly ill-fated night, the trap house showed its claws, but thankfully didn't claim fresh blood. The abandoned house. As the 19-year-old delivery driver navigated his aging Honda Civic down the cracked and pitted roads of the dead-end street, a sense of unease washed over him. Ramshackle houses dotted the landscape, trees and weeds overtaking their sagging frames. Peeling paint, broken windows, overgrown lawns and distressed no trespassing signs indicated he had entered an abandoned neighborhood on the outskirts of town. When the GPS pronounced "You have arrived," dread sank into the pit of his stomach. Before him loomed a decrepit 2-story farmhouse that appeared completely deserted. While every nerve pleaded with him to abort this delivery, dedication to the job propelled him up the walkway to the weathered front porch. Finding the door ajar with foreboding darkness spilling out, the driver hesitated. A faint piano melody echoed from somewhere inside the shadowy void within. "Hello? Pizza delivery," he announced, pulse quickening as only ominous silence answered. Work ethic propelling him. He crept into the dusty living room, inhaling decades of musty stagnation. "Anybody here?" No reply but the constant melancholy piano tune urging him forward. Through the kitchen and towards the rear of the house he tiptoed, floorboards groaning under his cautious steps. Turning the corner, with trembling hands, he pushed open the stuck dining room door to reveal the baby grand piano sitting idly near a boarded-up window. Sheet music yellowed with age peppered the instrument, but no player was seated at the bench. Not a soul stirred in the entire house. As confusion and relief washed over the puzzled delivery guy, the once soothing piano melody intensified, pounding violently like the slamming of angry fists on the keys. The driver's heart catapulted to his throat as he burst back through the sagging kitchen screen door. Gasping lungfuls of fresh air, he scrambled to his trusty Civic, squealing off just as a blood-curdling scream erupted from inside the now haunted dwelling. Shaken, the teen had to unveil his supernatural encounter to his doubtful parents. Yet knowing the property's sordid history, his father agreed to an overnight stakeout by the abandoned farmhouse. Just past midnight, a deafening smash startled the pair from their drooping eyelids. Heart in their throats, they witnessed 3 masked prowlers hauling stacks of plastic barrels into the cellar doors. Swallowing terror, Dad called his buddy on the force to storm the ominous scene as the house lit up with a SWAT team sweeping flashlights. 2 perpetrators emerged, cowering with hands raised. No poltergeists they. Caught red-handed refurbishing the abandoned property into a drug lab were 2 traffickers atop the most wanted lists. That night, the delivery driver escaped, becoming another missing person of the opioid epidemic. Ignoring the home's foreboding facade saved his fate. And the haunted happenings? Perhaps just his guardian angel steering him from shadowy evil disguised in the banal wrappings of the deserted and decayed. Robbed at gunpoint, the 20-year-old delivery driver felt his nerves kick in as the GPS directed him deeper into the sketchy part of town. He knew the dimly lit streets and boarded-up row homes notorious for drugs and violence were prime robbery territory. But shrugging it off as just part of the job, he gripped the steering wheel and proceeded cautiously. Arriving at the address, his eyes widened. Even by neighborhood standards, this house looked especially foreboding. Squeezed between 2 abandoned properties, its front door barely hung from broken hinges. Weeds and trash choked the sidewalk as 3 men exchanged cash for small baggies near the stoop, eyeing him suspiciously. Heart pounding, the driver lifted the hot bag of pizza and headed slowly up the walkway. Before he could even ring the dangling doorbell, 3 aggressive young men whipped open the door, waving guns and yelling for him to get inside. Icy fear flooded his veins, realizing his dire fate. Strong-arming the pie from his trembling hands, they forced him against the wall, holding pistols to his quivering face. Rifling through his pockets, they nabbed wallet, car keys, phone and watch. Whatever possessions within their grasp. Adrenaline and shock kept the teen fixed in terrified paralysis. Then the ringleader flipped open his wallet, spotting the driver's license with his family's home address. Brandishing his shiny pistol, the thug threatened swift murder if he dared report this attack to police. Visions of his gentle parents executed in cold blood right in their cozy kitchen flooded the poor boy's imagination. He vigorously nodded agreement to seal his lips, willing to say anything despite the moral injustice. Released from his captors, he stumbled out the door, hyperventilating. The laughing bandits slammed it shut behind him, already arguing over their meager spoils from the stick-up. In shocked daze, the driver found his car and sped off, bawling as the gravity of the assault washed over him. Both fury and fear battled within his mind. Arriving home, disheveled and distraught, his parents extracted the terrifying tale. While sympathetic to their son's plight, his father refused resignation, insisting no street thugs would intimidate their family or control their fates. An off-duty cop buddy helped quickly trace the address to a stash house for a ruthless cartel. Furious at the traumatic assault on his boy, Dad's friend led a massive SWAT team raid on the notorious crack den the following night. Breaking down doors by brute force, they hauled 2 illegal occupants back to prison. The armed ringleader, however, disappeared without a trace. In subsequent weeks, despite lingering worries over retaliation, the family feels profoundly grateful. Surviving the robbery and freeing the community of 2 dangerous felons brought blessing from the horror. Fortifying their home security, they proudly reclaimed control of their lives. The delivery boy now savors his family time as precious, while keeping vigilant over his shoulder. These harrowing brushes with mortality forever changed their outlook. No longer taking safety for granted, they immersed themselves in activism. Speaking out at community forums, they implored lawmakers for harsher penalties against violent crooks. Joining the fight for economic revitalization of blighted neighborhoods, their horror stories put a human face on policies, and their efforts bore fruit. Surveillance cameras soon dotted the streets, providing digital eyes to deter drug trafficking. At-risk youth groups and skills workshops diverted teens from the lethal temptations of fast drug money. Within a few short years, the once ravaged community transformed into a blossoming hub of small businesses. Violent crime plummeted dramatically. From devastating violence blossomed hope and renewal. Their community activism bore fruit. Surveillance cameras and youth groups now flood once drug-ravaged streets where a new generation finally plays carefree. These blood-curdling tales spotlight the risks delivery drivers face to fill our bellies. So next, Pizza Bite. Thank the dude who battled shady streets for your doorstep feast. Our convenience hides a dark reality we take for granted. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more thrilling true crime content.